My name is Kathryn Lapaluccio, and I am the office manager at Carmine's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning in Danbury, Connecticut. And we are a plumbing and HVAC company. We handle residential and some light commercial work as well. So anywhere from we're big on replacements. We're really a replacement company. We do service, we do maintenance. So we kind of have a little bit of everything going on. I went to like your spiel, like where you guys would talk about like SEO and like what you do and everything. And my dad went to one thing, I went to another, and he's like, "This is your job, you do this." And I'm like, "Okay." So basically, like it was like, "Okay, I think we should do this." Beforehand, I don't really know exactly how certain things were handled or by who, to be honest with you. But I did find you guys at one of the conferences, like when we had like the breakout sessions. We're always trying to grow. So always trying to grow. We can't always do everything in-house. So we obviously need help from people on the outside who obviously know what they're doing and who have years of experience and people who we can trust, and I know you guys being a Nexstar affiliate and everything, that was a positive for us, and then the funny thing is like when I would talk to people also about their SEOs and certain things, when I would go like to multiple Nexstar meetings, some people were using you, some people weren't. And I was kind of like, oh, like that's interesting. Like, and they would talk about like what their people do or don't do for them on their end. And I know like I've had different account managers like with you guys, just people have moved up the ladder and gone here and gone there, that I've had a really positive experience with everyone who I've worked with. Like if I needed someone, I had a question like, "Hey, like what's going on? Like this, why is this like this?" I've always had great feedback. So I think like going ahead and being able to question someone who has more insight onto Google and how things work and how things operate. Like, I don't know how to do any of this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not my forte. Like, I go over with you guys, like the monthly reports, which are great because you see like your areas of strengths and weaknesses throughout the months. We've always had like a booming business. Of course, you have like your high peak times and you have your lull times in between seasons when people need you and the phones are ringing off the hook 24/7. But my dad has been in business for like 42 years, and he's very, very knowledgeable. And we have a great group of people in office, out in the field, and we're just like really like a well-oiled machine. I'll be honest with you, and I think that goes with the amount of time that you're in business and everyone knows their role. So we've always, like I said, been booming. We've literally been in the same exact location. It's funny, 92 Sandpit Road forever. Like I'm 35 years old. We've been here since I was a baby, like, so it's funny. I think being a staple like within the community, and people knowing like, okay, like that's Carmine Lapaluccio, it's the same location, and we have the same quality of work and we have high standards for like the work that we do. We have a lot of people, they come to us through word of mouth. It's like, oh, my neighbor used you, my cousin, my aunt, so like we have a lot of people like within the community. We just like do the surrounding towns around us, and I mean we're slammed. We have loads of condo communities. So between word of mouth, and I think like our biggest thing is our branding. Just like everyone knows like that Carmine's truck, we have like that huge logo like that's tilted on the side, it's like Carmine's, like everyone knows like that's like our business, like friends, family, they're like, "Oh, I saw a Carmine's truck today," so I think like with that's super important because of the fact that that I just think being in the community for so long and word of mouth and seeing things like we also have like, for example, we own our own billboard on our property. So like we don't rent it, we actually own it. So we are constantly changing the billboard signs like on, like a quarterly basis kind of thing. So I think like it has helped in a way of us having a more stable face like online. I think our customers, I mean, we have a lot of long time customers. We have like, our old timers who a lot of them don't use the internet, you know, so like they don't do that. Like they just go word of mouth. Some of them still have the telephone book, so they ask people, you know. So I think in regards of like the newer generations, especially like my age and like millennials and everything, I think that the online is 100% like the way that everyone is turning towards. So we definitely have a lot of new clientele, especially like the new thing, oh, like installing ductless systems, you know, like that's like the new thing. So when they go on our website and they read about like our services and like what we have to offer, like it's kind of like they're hooked, and then they call and they want an estimate, you know, whether we get the job or whether we don't. Again, like that's a lead, because then we've actually stepped foot into your home. So online has served a huge presence for us. And at that point, like with where we're headed, I mean, it's 2023, you know, it's kind of nutty. Things have changed over the years drastically. Life has changed in the way people are living and just going about their daily routines. I think it should only go up from here. I think the biggest thing for me anyway, so I've been here a little over 5 years. So when I stepped in, I kind of was handed a bunch of different things, and Kathryn, look at this, Kathryn, look at that. Um, and it, I think the monthly reports, for example, and having a monthly meeting and seeing how you're doing on a basis, like it's accountability. You know what I mean? I know like there have been times where I've been on point and I've had my monthly meetings and I've been, yep, check, yep, I did it January, February, March, and then April and May, like I've fallen off the board or something like that. And I know it happens to everyone, you know, it's just, I think the monthly reports holds us accountable. So we actually see what we're doing, what we're spending our money on, what it looks like on Google for us, how many leads we're getting, like, you know, obviously like the more leads, the cost per lead goes down, which is like phenomenal. So I think that with the website too, like we have a gorgeous website made by you guys. I mean, it's freaking beautiful. Love it, love it. And I remember when we first made the website, I went through every single page, and I had like a notebook like thick, and whether there was spelling errors. I used to be a teacher before I came here, so it's funny. So like I kind of used like my teaching background, and I went through and I was like, oh, there should be a comma here or an apostrophe, or this should be capitalized. And at the time, I forget who my girl was my first time, and I remember like I went through everything and I was like, okay, this needs to be done. This needs to be fixed, you know, and everything was fixed, you know, and it's nice to know because we don't have to go in and put in some formula or know how to do it. And it's just one additional facet that's like lifted from us, you know, and it's like we already know it's going to be taken care of. And if there's any issues on your end or our end, we know that there's going to be some type of communication, you know? So I think like the open communication, having a beautiful website that's very easy to get around, yet very detailed oriented. I think that's huge. Like, for example, like during COVID, during COVID, like it was a really nutty time. And this is what you guys did for us. We actually had a video made, and I was actually on the radio. I just made like a spiel like this. I just was talking and I was like, hey, Carmine's is open. Carmine's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Anything you need, you know, and I went on and on. And I had like this ad that my dad was like, go put that on the radio. And I was like, okay. But we made a video, and it was like a professional video that you guys actually ended up putting on our page, that when people would click on our page, the video would first pop up on the first page, and it was showing like, yes, we are open during COVID, you know, because we were essential employees, you know, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning around the clock, like that's needed. Everyone was here in our office. We did not shut down. Did we maybe not go into some people's homes? Some people were fine, you know, so it really helped us a lot just to even show like, that we could rely on you guys like during that time, because at that time back in 2020, it was like, well, what's going on? Like everyone was so like unsure about the state of the world, that putting that on our website, that's huge, you know, like that's just huge. And like you guys have helped us a lot too. We use Pulse M, which is our integration of how we get all of our reviews and everything. So that's connected over to Successware. And then you guys put like that widget on our profile too. And so having that on our profile, they can see all of our reviews. You know, it's not just like some here and there. I mean, like all of our reviews are there, which is great. And you guys monitor things. So it really is just really beneficial like that. It's helped us out a lot. And we know that we're in good standing. You know, we know like we know like where we stand in the community, like we know where we stand with you guys, you know, like there's lots of competition in the area. However, in this kind of trade, there's a lot of business that it's for everyone. You know what I mean? Like we don't even have to compete because there's so much work that needs to be done, you know? So with you guys, it's just like you guys have really provided like a peace of mind on all of like those aspects. I would definitely say anyone to onboard your services. I think everyone's in the beginning like, oh, how much is this going to be? Is it going to be worth it? You know, and you don't know if it's worth it until you actually like dive in and try. So with that, I think is super important because this is like the way our world is going. And like, you know, our kids one day, like they're gonna deal with it too. And everything's online. Everything is online. You know what I mean? And I think that people, in order to grow their business, in order for there to be a online presence, for people to get to know who you are as a company and also like as an owner of a company, it's huge. It's huge because like you can't just do it on your own. You know, it's, you know, we advertise in our local newspaper every day. So we're in our newspaper, we're in multiple magazines like that we have throughout here advertising our business and everything. But like, you know, a lot of the old timers, for example, like that's like their kind of thing. They look in a magazine, like they see it. They're, oh, look at this. Oh, look, you know, and so like that's like a different realm. But I think for like people my age and younger and the upcoming things like that are going on, like people who are computer savvy, that going ahead and investing in something like this, it just takes the weight completely off of your shoulders. And it just makes it like, you know, like when I tell you like you're in good hands, you know, you're in good hands. And you know, like that people aren't just out to get your money and they're not sitting there, they're not doing anything, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure that there are SEO companies out there that they promise you the world and then they don't do anything like to back it up, or you're like, well, what are we paying this money for? You know, I mean, there's been services like that. I've been like, hey, I don't want to do the pay-per-clicks anymore right now. Like we're way too busy. So like we froze it and you guys did it right then and there, you know? So I think that the open communication, the trustworthiness, being honest, I think that's huge. And I would truly like recommend anyone to you guys that have asked, like, you know, I would definitely in a heartbeat, because we haven't had an issue with you guys since we started and we're happy with the way things are going. So everything is smooth and we just keep doing what we're doing as we kind of go throughout the year. So you're A+ in my book. So I'm good.